Okay, so I didn't plan on making another Plants vs. Zombies video this week, but I had a gut feeling that I should. And no, I'm not actually on my Big Man Jack account. I'm actually on my main Xplodinapple because there's tryhards and I need to use OP characters. I needed to get electric kills anyway. But there is something that I need to get off my chest. I know I sound like a broken record. I want to address this one last time for good, so no one has to hear me talk about it anymore. It's about the publisher of Plants vs. Zombies, EA Games. And I'm not here to rant about why Garden Warfare 2 didn't get updated. Yeah, what else is new? No, I'm actually talking about their game that they're actually trying to promote, which is Plants vs. Zombies 3. Now, as you probably known, Plants vs. Zombies 3, they removed it again from the App Store. And I think they're changing up the game again. I think their art style got changed like, 3 times? And now they're gonna try it again for a 4th? This doesn't even make sense on paper. Like, I don't know what these guys are even doing. Why are they even putting this much time and effort into a game that not too many people even care about? Now, I don't have a problem with Plants vs. Zombies 3. I'm sure it's a fun game on paper, right? But I don't understand what makes it different from Plants vs. Zombies 2. If anything, besides the art style, I think both games are identical. For some reason, they keep making it worse for people to actually enjoy these games. You know how some people say that Battle for Neighborville is like the black sheep of the Plants vs. Zombie shooters? People are saying that for Plants vs. Zombies 3 for the tower defense games. And that's kind of sad. Every time I see their social media, how they're updating Plants vs. Zombies 3 or they're changing it again, it's pretty much the boy who cried wolf. It's them just promising that the game's getting better, but in reality, they're actually not really doing anything about it. They're being so vague about it. Like, what are you trying to change to make it better? Are you gonna do something to make it worthwhile to play it? It's been a couple of years since Plants vs. Zombies 3 has been a thing. It hasn't even been officially soft launched yet. Yeah, apparently in a couple of countries it's been released, but never have I ever seen a release in the United States. And they're still advertising it as if it's a game you can technically still play, but not everybody has access to it? Does that make sense to you? It's like Battle for Neighborville when they actually, soft launched that. Instead of waiting for the actual release date, you could just play it early as soon as they announced it. Yeah, like that made any sense. No hype, no build-up, no trailers, nothing. Just give us the game and hope to God the audience is going to enjoy it. That's the thing, Electronic Arts and the Plants vs. Zombies thing, it's just like, they're giving us slop we don't want. And they're advertising it as if it's something brand new, but in reality, it's something old. Oh, we're introducing, a seed lineup in Plants vs. Zombies 3. Whoop-de-fucking-do, that's been in the game for like 13 years. It should have been there as a basic function to begin with. Have you ever actually wondered why Plants vs. Zombies 3 no one actually talks about? Because there's really nothing to... There's no substance. Oh, this chomper's gonna get me, isn't he? Yeah, I thought so. I don't know why, but it's just... I shouldn't be so pissed off about it. Because this has been happening for, a couple of years? It's not just with Plants vs. Zombies 3. I mean, they've been making the same dumb mistakes with Battle for Neighborville, which is why that game died out. And now they're making dumb mistakes for Plants vs. Zombies 3, and that game's gonna die out. And it's going to continue to fail if they keep making these stupid choices. On their social media pages, when more people start hating on the game and asking you to bring back Garden Warfare 2, or any of those other games that they actually do enjoy, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if they're not enjoying it, they're not enjoying it. Why are you giving them something they don't want? It's like if McDonald's started selling spaghetti, which that's a true story, by the way, and everyone hated it. Would it make sense for McDonald's to still sell spaghetti? This is exactly what they're doing with Plants vs. Zombies 3. Nobody wants to play it, and for most people can't even play it. But for those who actually do have access to it, don't want to play it either. What do? Do they cast this project aside and actually update the games that they do want? No, of course not. They'll keep trying to sell you the same shitty spaghetti until it finally fucking sells, which will never happen. I would love to be proven wrong. I really would. If somehow Plants vs. Zombies, if their franchise turns around, I would delete this video and admit I'm wrong. But every day, EA keeps proving me correct. And that's a fucking shame. Am I actually gonna get this revive? Oh, that quest is done. This isn't the first time that PopCap and EA have actually pulled this type of shit. This is the second time that Plants vs. Zombies 3 shut down. And then they're gonna try and rebrand it saying, oh, we're gonna make it better. But in reality, they haven't changed anything. So it's still gonna be the same crappy game. I also looked up on the internet that people were actually modding Plants vs. Zombies 3 to make it better than what the developers were doing. And the developers put a C&D on that because they didn't want any competition. Even though the game is free, which that doesn't make sense. Now they're shutting down their game that they actually want to sell you. What is going through their brains? Does any of this even make sense from a business standpoint? I just don't get why they keep doing this. I'm just so tired of it. They've been doing this shit for 5, maybe 6 years. They've been making shitty choices since George Fan got fired. Most of their decisions have just been based on really dumb decisions, ignoring their fans, or just simply for financial gain. Because it's Electronic Arts and all they care about is money. They don't give two shits about their fans. I don't care that Garden Warfare 2 doesn't get an update. I don't care if Battle for Neighborville remains dead. What I do care is if the developers actually listen to their fans. And, you know, you could still make your Plants vs. Zombies 3. You could still make, I don't know, what other crap you're trying to come up with. I mean, this goes for Angry Birds, too. The Angry Birds developers are doing the exact same thing when they pulled their apps from the store. We can't even play Angry Birds Space anymore. I'm kind of pissed off about that. But the point I'm making is these people will never listen to constructive criticism or listen to their fans. And in retaliation, this is what happens. Plants vs. Zombies 3 has to shut down again because it's not being financially supported. Gee, I wonder why. It's because they're still selling the spaghetti and no one's fucking buying it. So here's what they're gonna do. They're gonna open up their restaurant again and try again with the same shitty spaghetti. Gee, I wonder why it's not selling. I thought if we opened up again, they'd actually buy it. Most of what I just talked about is pointless. It was all pointless. But you gotta understand the take that you understand why I'm not surprised that they pull this shit. The devs will legit blame their fans for not buying Plants vs. Zombies 3 when we didn't even want it in the first place. You know what we do want? Maybe a threequel to Garden Warfare. And yes, I understand that there's not that many people in the PopCap team anymore. And for those who are available are, you know, forced to work on Plants vs. Zombies 3. So at the end of the day, it's not really their fault. It's the higher-ups that are responsible for this bullshit. Their corporate greed is turning their creative art into shit. There was a time when Plants vs. Zombies and PopCap Games actually had passion for their work. It was more than just paying the bills. That just gave me a haircut. Alright, this team got really sweaty, so I'm just gonna switch to Captain Cannon for the rest of the video. It's not just Plants vs. Zombies 3 that's failing right now. I think Plants vs. Zombies in general is failing. Because you're not keeping up with supply and demand. It's just that simple. If they actually were, and were listening to the fans, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. I mean, how much effort would it be to, like, change the shitty portal events in Garden Warfare 2? Legends of the Brawl can easily be changed in the coding, right? Actually have legendary characters instead of the shit we got? Okay, and that was a nasty way to die. Maybe, like, go out of your way to change the portals where, you know, some of the achievements are possible to unlock. maybe give us a reason to come back to the games we do enjoy. Because even Team Fortress 2, like, basically the game is done being developed, but that game still has a fan base. Same thing with Mario Kart Wii, except the difference there is that game's still alive with mods because Nintendo doesn't give two shits either. I'm barely winning this. I just keep dying over and over again. I'm not even focused on the game at this point. I'm just kind of just ranting and raving about the stupid PopCap news that everyone just keeps covering and doing it to death. I never really addressed this completely because I just think it's pointless. But I made this video because I just don't want to talk about it anymore. I can't even say for sure that this video is considered a wake-up call. But for those and myself, to remind myself about why this franchise went down to shit the way they are, I can always just tune back to this video and say and see the reasons why. I guess whenever I rant and rave about Electronic Arts making really stupid decisions on what they plan to do with Plants vs. Zombies, they have like a giant cash cow right in front of them and they refuse to milk it. That's no one else's problem except theirs. Consequences for their games that nobody wanted not doing well are completely on them. And I don't think they understand that. So I'm going to end it with this. If you want to run a business, you got to listen to your customers. If your customer says that if one specific thing of your business is not working, you don't just ignore it. If you're selling shit that people don't want, cast it aside, work on the thing that they do want, and then when they're happy, then continue with your project that people don't want. And if maybe later they'll want it. But as of now, there's like no substance to what they want. It really doesn't make sense what they're doing. Anyway, yeah, some Garden Warfare 2 video this was. I'm probably gonna go away now. If you want to see the other Garden Warfare videos, I'll put the playlist in the end card, so I'll see you guys later.